Hello and welcome to the SheerLuxe Show. I'm Charlotte Collins and I'm back in the studio bringing you another fab show, from fashion to health, autumnal food inspiration to travel trends and beauty, all in the mix. From unexpected trends to new places to where the cool set are heading, I'm joined by one of the UK's leading travel experts with all the tips you need to know to get back in the saddle. Then Polly's here with the ultimate edit of the 5 coats you need this season. Earlier in the week, Georgie sat down with 2 leading health experts. She's learning how to future-proof your health through preventative medicine. Plus, Sommer Pyne is back with the last in the series of her delicious autumnal supper ideas. And finally, Adeola is here recreating the best beauty trends straight from the catwalk. But first, it's travel with founder of leading UK travel PR agency Perrone International, Jules Perrone, to talk all things travel. Hi, Jules.
Hello.
It's so nice to have you back.
Thank you.
You were last here quite a lot pre-pandemic.
I was, and it was quite a different world then, as we know.
It was.
And it's so nice to be looking ahead, finally.
Really nice. It's really nice. We're not going to dwell too much on the last year and a half. We all know what that's been like for travel. How are things now? You know, we're obviously talking about traveling from the UK. How does that feel? Does it feel like things are getting better?
It does. It's confusing still, and I think a lot of people are nervous in case things change again. You know, all the rules and regulations have been really difficult for even us as travel professionals to keep. And we were talking about it earlier. I know, you know, where can we go when? What do we need? What app? Is it updated? Has it shut down because, you know, whatever reason? So it is complicated, but there is such desire to travel. So the interest, people have been basically using the last 18 months to get inspired, to kind of draw up the ultimate wish list of where to go. And now we're seeing definitely a change. Bookings, things are easier, especially if it's short haul, and especially if it's last minute.
So in terms of kind of trends and what we're seeing, so short haul and last minute tends to be more of the way people are booking.
Right now is, I mean, we're obviously coming into half term, we're coming into, you know, autumn sun. It's where can I still go in Europe? A lot of the European hotels are staying open longer.
Okay.
It's a great thing. People are sort of going into Provence, Italy, southern Italy, even to Lake Como and places like that still, into October, November. Normally their season kind of ends mid-October. So short haul is huge. And that's very immediate. It's like, where can I go tomorrow?
Yeah.
How can I get there? Then there's this real desire for people to return to their favorite places. And that's what we're seeing. I've spoken to so many friends and colleagues and things who just want to go back to that last place they were before COVID. They want to have that incredible moment wherever it was. So they're rebooking old favourites.
Okay.
It's places, people that remember you. You want to go back and see that gorgeous barman that made your favourite cocktail, whatever, that kind of perfect moment that you've dreamt about. Then we're seeing not necessarily loads of bookings yet, but certainly a lot of inquiries for those once in a lifetime kind of ends of the earth, extraordinary experiences where you go for kind of longer, they're really far, they're a nightmare to get to usually. You know, we're talking sort of Madagascar, parts of Africa, but people want these extraordinary experiences. They've sort of dreamt of them and they're going to go. And whether it's, you know, anything from Sri Lanka to the Anambas Islands in Indonesia, or even, you know, exploring like Papua New Guinea or something, like people are now inquiring about these places. And then there's this kind of gorgeous, fabulous return to glamour. I was up at Gleneagles a couple of weeks ago. People are in ball gowns for dinner. They're celebrating.
Yeah.
They're just going, and they're literally going for it. Should I have that extra bottle of wine? Probably not, but I will. That extra spa treatment. I'm going to just enjoy myself and dress for it.
Yeah.
It's great.
They're almost the best holidays you've ever been on, the post-COVID ones, aren't they? Because you really appreciate every last bit.
And I think we were all on this like mad hamster wheel of I've got to go there, I've got to go there, I've got to go there, I've got to tick every box. And what we're definitely saying is people are saying, you know what, I'm going to go probably do less traveling, but go for longer.
Yes.
And kind of make it matter. So I'm actually going to go to Lisbon for a week.
Yeah, it's so true. I also think, you know, people don't want the faff of, you know, we know the forms are difficult, that traveling into, you know, in between places is difficult. So you sort of just want to go to one place and stay there, don't you, and explore it.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be like the reality for the next year or two, is there are going to be these sort of complicated procedures. So getting to one place, staying there, feeling really secure, knowing you can get home easily is really important.
Yeah. So I love the idea that these places are staying open longer and that more of Europe is more, you're so right. I mean, there are so many places that you wouldn't normally think to do, but it's just about that change of scenery, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, my favourite time of year to go to the Alps is the summer. It's not the fashionable time. One of my favourite times to go to the south of France is around Christmas or the end of the autumn. It's so beautiful there. And don't forget, that's when the Brits 100 years ago used to go to France. We'd go to escape the winter. We wouldn't go there to get baked in the summer. And I love the fact that the kind of trends that we thought before are being kind of flipped on their head. You know, Christmas in Provence, how gorgeous, or in Tuscany.
And it's always going to be better than being in the UK, weather-wise, isn't it? Is it cheaper to go to those places? Is it like technically out of season as well?
Yeah, I mean, the rates will be much lower than they are in peak season. And can I tell you that they're just so grateful? You know, the attitude, you arrive in these hotels at the moment, they're just so delighted. The industry has been through hell. And literally, when you go and take the time to go and see these places, the right kind of places, especially people like privately owned, kept their staff, treated, you know, really done the right thing during COVID. It's like you're literally being welcomed into their homes. It's amazing. You think about Europe, roaring fires. It doesn't have to be obvious times to go.
No, it doesn't. And how nice to go when it's a little quieter as well in peak summer.
I mean, I was in Venice last summer, pretty much the only person there. The greatest moment of my life.
Really?
I remember it.
Because people say not to go to Venice in the summer as well, so it's still.
Well, it was when it was empty.
Yeah,
you know,
that's it. I guess you go to avoid the crowds.
But it makes you realise that the actual big trend is that off-season will become the new in-season. And that's kind of fabulous. Why should we always feel that we have to be in X in July and Y in August and in September we have to go here and then we have to flip and we have to go to the Caribbean or we have to go to the Maldives. Let's rip up the rule book. The weather patterns are all screwed anyway, so it doesn't make any difference.
So true. Where should we look at? You mentioned a few places before, but if you're looking over the next few months, you know, let's start with Europe. Kind of where's feasible, where's different, where's interesting?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would choose places like Mallorca, but kind of, you know, have a couple of nights in Palma and then I'd go to some little unknown fishing villages, beautiful boutique hotels. We've just opened a place, Cannabotech, in a tiny fishing village called Sant'Ani. Those kind of places. I'd go to Antiparos in Greece. I'd choose some of the lesser known Greek islands, which are just so beautiful and natural, great little places to stay. They don't have to be expensive, but I would just go and explore a little bit more. You know, fly to Mykonos, get a boat to somewhere. Fly to Paris, get a boat across, and just, you know, check out these sort of lesser known places. Go and explore Puglia or Sicily. I mean, absolutely beautiful. There are the obvious easy places too, like Boris Johnson flying into Spain. I mean, it's you know, people have just realised, look, it's 25 degrees there for the next week, 10 days. I've just been looking at the weather. Amazing, you'll get that
and it's
throughout.
Just easy, right?
Cyprus, you know, still has kind of mid-20s weather all the way through November.
Heaven.
And into December. So I think that kind of, those kind of places. I'm also really excited about Scandinavia. You know, Norway, Sweden. What about a gorgeous weekend in Stockholm? Or, and I know that they can be expensive, but if you go to the sort of Norwegian fjords and choose some little boutique hotels.
I'd love to do that,
That those kind of places, I think, we're just going to slightly have a rethink.
Just kind of go off the beaten track a little bit.
Sure.
Where is, you know, we'll come to affordable options in a minute, but where is kind of, in terms of the glam factor, in terms of, you know, let's be indulgent for a minute, where is kind of the hot destination, maybe somewhere that new hotels are opening, you know, that is like, that's where the cool kids are going?
I mean, look, I would say that the old favourites places are being revived. So you've got to look at Paris at the moment. You've got incredible new hotels opening there. We've actually got a really gorgeous little property. You know, for Paris, this seems good value, €500 a night, but actually for Paris, that is extraordinarily good value. Opening there. There's a new scene happening in Paris. Cheval Blanc's just opened there. It's shone a big spotlight on it.
Soho House. It's all
of course. There's lots of places like that. I would say, you know, I mean, look, a lot of the big new openings haven't happened because of COVID. They've all been delayed. And I think people are less worried about where's new. They want a return to kind of the gorgeous, glamorous places. So that, like I was saying, up at somewhere like a Glen Eagles, I mean, these places are kind of almost fully booked now for the next few months because people just absolutely desire. We've just opened the Newt in Somerset, another place that's, you know, gone mad.
You cannot get into the Newt in Somerset.
No, it's a little too popular.
Yes,
but
it's too popular.
Try from January. It's amazing. But look, I would say Puglia is having such a moment in southern Italy. You know, the hotels all around that coastline, and they're small and gorgeous, and they're not expensive. I think the joy of travel now is that the richest people choose an Airbnb, or they might stay in an Amman for 2 nights, and the next night they might be in a gorgeous little boutique hotel at €100. that's what I love about what's happening in travel. People don't feel this pressure anymore to go to a Four Seasons or to go to some swanky brand. You know, choice is the new luxury.
So true.
Yeah.
Where if you're looking for something on a budget, where's your number one recommendation? Somewhere a little bit more affordable?
I think the Greek islands. And look, the Greek islands offer, I mean, look, as I said, the weather's strange everywhere at the moment, but you'll get good weather there.
Sure.
Going way into November. And I'd choose, you know, as I said, some of the lesser known islands like Antiparos, even Paros, even Mykonos out of the cool spots. So I think that's kind of what I would look for. And also, let's not forget the UK.
Yeah.
Haven't we all just fallen in love with the
True.
UK? Scotland. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was just in Ireland 10 days ago, Connemara. I've never been there before.
Okay.
One of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. I was at this amazing place, Ashford Castle, but think of all the other places you can go to explore.
Yeah.
You fly to Shannon, it's super easy. So I think we're also kind of re-looking in a sort of inward way at what's on our doorstep.
Yeah.
Lake District, Buxton, you know, wonderful.
Yeah, so true. There's so much to offer, isn't there?
Yeah.
Can I ask you quickly about family travel?
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, we referenced Boris Johnson. He's off with a pregnant wife and a kid. You know, there are obviously certain places that are more accessible, easier with families. Where's you know, a good recommendation by you for a family trip?
I mean, look, places like Mauritius have just opened again, and if you know, can afford to get there, and this is something I know I mentioned previously when we were talking. The cost of flying is going to be a real handicap for everyone, most of all for families going forward. There aren't as many flights to places yet. The airlines have up there, you know, have got huge costs and costs to recoup, and the prices are huge. I mean, I was just looking at flying to New York the other day. An economy fare is double what it was pre-COVID.
it's crazy, yeah.
So I think for families, if they're looking for good value options, it's sort of choosing places that are nearer, where you can fly EasyJet or perhaps Ryanair, like southern Spain or Portugal. You may be going to the Douro Valley rather than the Algarve.
Yeah.
So I think, and I think families will look to kind of places like Cyprus for Christmas, perhaps, when they wouldn't have considered it before because they might have gone longer haul. But I think pricing is going to be one of the issues with long haul travel for the next year.
You're right. You can see it already, can't you? Just practically.
Yeah.
Finally, Jules, one destination or one hotel. Go on, give us a hotel plug. Somewhere that has just opened or somewhere that's opening soon that you're really excited about for the next year.
So I just have to get back to Africa.
Yeah.
Like those. I know you had your honeymoon there.
Yes.
It's those vistas. It's the space. It's nature and everything.
Yeah,
I am planning my honeymoon at the moment. I want to there's an island off Madagascar called Miavana. It's been on my wish list for years. That's where I want to be.
That's the focus. Okay.
That's my place.
Okay. Is there a hotel there?
Yes, Miavana.
Okay.
It's called.
Sorry, that's the name of the hotel. Got you.
And I just need that. I want to literally feel like I'm on Jurassic Park on the end of the earth.
Amazing.
And I just want to be in that remote, raw, beautiful place.
Oh God, I didn't think I was craving a holiday, but you've given me all the feels. Okay. Jules, thank you so much as ever. I could talk to you about this all day. Thank you. Lovely to have you here.
So nice to be here.
Fingers crossed for your honeymoon.
Thank you.
For all of us. For more information and for travel inspiration, then do visit peroneinternational.com. Next up, SheerLuxe's junior fashion editor, Polly, is here with the 5 coats you need to get you through autumn and winter.
Hello guys, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Polly, SheerLuxe's junior fashion editor, and I am back this month to show you 5 key coats to invest in for the upcoming season. Coats are naturally quite a big consideration for most of us as we approach the colder months, so it makes sense to invest in a good one because a really great coat has the power to completely transform your look. So I've handpicked 5 different styles to buy this season, and all of them are really going to make your looks really elevated and cool, but they're also nice and versatile, so you'll get plenty of wear out of them. So without further ado, let's get started. Kicking off with a classic, it is just a simple, tailored, masculine wool style. Of all the coats on the rails today, I think this is probably the most timeless. This style really doesn't go out of style. And this one is from Zara. It's just a really good shape. What you want to look for with this style, I think, is quite a strong shoulder. You almost want it to look like a menswear coat. You want something nice and long, a little bit oversized. In terms of length, I think Personally, the longer the better, but I think ideally you at least want it to be below the knee, ideally sort of calf length, for that oversized, really cool look. The beauty of this style coat really is that it just goes with everything. You could even wear it over a tracksuit to smarten it up. You could wear it to work, you can wear it on the weekend. I just think, you know, you're gonna get so much wear out of this. So I have paired it with a blue striped shirt, some split hem leggings and some heels for a quite sort of wardrobe NYC inspired look. But as I mentioned, you really can wear this over everything. Next up is something a little more contemporary. It is, of course, a quilted jacket. You've probably seen these everywhere because, you know, everyone has got one, whether it's the Frankie shop one, which this one is, or a dupe. There are plenty of them out there. Obviously, it is a bit of a trend, but if you want something this season that's quite contemporary, it's just gonna make your looks feel a little bit cooler and a bit more contemporary, then this is a really great option. Obviously, that green Frankie shop one is a complete sellout. The brand has introduced a few different colors, including this lovely white color, which I just think is a really nice option because I love the green, but perhaps not super duper versatile, whereas this white will really go with pretty much everything. It's obviously quite a casual jacket. You're not going to be wearing it to work, for example, but for the weekends, you know, if you're heading out on a walk and you want to look a bit cooler, then this is a really nice thing to buy. The shape, I think, for me is what really sets it apart. It is super oversized. I've gone for the smaller size, and obviously it still is pretty roomy. So do bear that in mind. Perhaps if you're on the more petite side, perhaps not for you, but you know, I've just paired it with a pair of slouchy jeans, a sweatshirt and some trainers, and it's simple, but because it's quite oversized and boxy, it instantly looks a little bit cooler. So if you're looking for a cool weekend jacket, then I think it's definitely worth investing in. Sticking with the padded theme now, but something a little more puffer vibes. It is, of course, just a long duvet style coat. I mean, we're not quite there yet in terms of needing a full duvet coat, but once the weather really sort of turns super cold, you're gonna thank yourself for buying something like this. This is from Zara again. I mean, perhaps you would normally trust Zara to have something quite technical and keep you warm enough, but this, I believe, has got some quite technical down in it, so really great option. Perhaps, you know, the Arquette ones always sell out. If you can't get your hands on one of those, then this, really nice option. It's full length, and I can feel it's just so warm, perfect. You know, if you've got a dog, for example, you need to walk them early in the morning and you still want to feel like you've got a duvet wrapped around you, or if you're just heading out, need something cozy, this is great. I mean, not much to note in terms of styling, it is what it is, so just chuck it over anything. But if you really wanted to feel a little bit more elevated, you could wear a pair of leather trousers, for example, with a pair of chunky boots, or just stick with jeans, and it's gonna look nice. I think the length of this is really important for it to look cool. You want something nice and long that still looks elevated. Either go for a cropped or super long, I think, with a duvet coat, because that's just gonna look much cooler. Okay, a little more of an investment piece now, but this coat is so special. It is a shearling coat from Reiss. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. I can't tell you how amazing this feels in person. It's just incredible quality. It is real shearling, which means it does come with a slightly higher price tag. But I just think something like this is just going to make every outfit you put on top of it just so special, so glamorous and elevated, and equally it's just going to keep you warm. It's full length, which I love. I've seen a lot of these kind of styled with a belt around the middle, which I think is super cool, but I've just gone for like a plain, clean, tonal look with a white roll neck, white jeans and black boots. I just think that's going to look really special. But again, I really feel like you could chuck this over anything. Again, a tracksuit, for example, or just a sweatshirt and jeans at the weekend. It's just going to elevate your look. So totally worth a splurge if you can. My final choice for today is a belted wool style. Quite similar to the first one that I chose, except just a little bit softer, a little bit more feminine, because it's belted at the waist and just a slightly slouchier silhouette. This one is from a brand called 12 Stories, or 12 Stores, not quite sure how to pronounce it, but a relatively new discovery for me, and they do such great outerwear, so certainly worth checking out if you're looking for an investment piece, an investment coat that is really going to last and feel excellent quality, I confirm. It's so soft and it's absolutely gorgeous in real life. I really think camel is a nice way to introduce a slightly different colour into your autumn winter wardrobe, especially when it comes to coats. However, it's still going to be nice and versatile and go with a lot of different things. It really goes nicely with blue, black, white, pink. I can think of loads of different things this colour goes with, so you're really going to get the wear out of it. You could go for a nice tonal look again, perhaps with a knitted dress, or you could switch it up with a nice black roll neck and a pair of leather trousers just to introduce a little bit of texture. And that is everything for today. I hope you enjoyed. All of the coats that I featured today will be linked in the show notes below, as well as the other pieces that I'm wearing where possible. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Polly. That was fab. Now, we all know that we look for a cure when we're ill, but very few of us actually focus on preventative healthcare. Earlier this week, Georgie sat down with Professor Khalid and Dr. Gemma Newman to understand all the things we can do to future-proof our health, from nutrition to supplements. It's fascinating stuff. Take a look.
The next segment today is something we should all listen to. It's about preventing illness, not treating it when it comes along. I recently read that the best doctors are the ones that will prevent us from getting ill, and that is the exact mission of preventative healthcare brand Cannabotech. And I'm thrilled to be joined by Professor Khalid and Dr. Gemma Newman, also known as the Plant Power Doctor. They're here to talk to us today all about how to future-proof our health. Welcome. How are you both? How lovely to have you join me today.
Hi, it's a real pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Great pleasure to be here with you all.
Can you give us a brief intro? Gemma, let's start with you. I mean, you're a GP and you're someone who really believes in the power of plant-based nutrition and its role in future-proofing your health. Tell us a bit more about you and what you stand for.
Absolutely. Well, I've been a physician for 17 years. I'm really passionate about preventative health. It's why I wanted to be a GP. I love the idea of saving lives in slow motion, but I appreciate that on a day-to-day basis, it can be really hard for doctors to do that. And so for me, it became a huge research interest and passion to understand how we can help patients with behavior change and how we can focus on prevention of disease rather than just treating it when it comes up.
That's the key. I mean, it makes such perfect sense, doesn't it? You know, we go to the doctor when we get ill. How about we try not to get ill in the first place? Professor Khalid, you're a physiologist. What exactly does that mean?
Yes, I'm an integrative and exercise physiologist, and actually what I've been doing during the last 20 and 25 years I'm actually studying the human body, human performance optimization, health, and how we can prevent diseases. And I mostly work on human performance, but since then I realized that human performance is also live healthy living, because we have a lot of challenges there. So it's all under the title of extreme conditions. So I kind of, mix the things together.
And why, I mean, talk to us about human life. And Professor Khalid, I know this is something you believe really strongly in, that in this modern world, we're living longer, there's more illness. Like, can you expand on that?
Yes, I see the modern life as what I call a wellness paradox or physiological paradox. Because our culture has changed so rapidly, but our biology didn't change as much. So we actually do not live the way we meant to live. We do not live the way our genes are expect us to live. So we don't eat the right food, we eat too much food. I mean, we do all the right things, but too much of them. We need to do a preconditioning for our physiological processes, and we do it by behavioral changes. We do it by food, by proper food, proper sleep, etc., in order to, to strengthen our immune function, mental function, etc.
Gemma, where does the power of nutrition come in when it comes to stress, when it comes to sleep, when it comes to your immune system?
Oh, nutrition is huge. And we all instinctively know that, don't we? You know, we understand that our body is made of these building blocks that we put inside of it. And so if we put healthy things inside of it, it makes sense that we'd be building the healthiest body. And we know that our immune system also relies very heavily on the foods that we eat. Our immune cells use a lot of vitamin C. Obviously, we all know a little bit about vitamin C being important, but it's because our immune cells use a lot of it when they're fighting infections. And so, yeah, there's lots of other components of food that are great. I'm a huge advocate for having loads of fruit and vegetables, all the colours of the rainbow, whole grains, legumes, things like beans, lentils, chickpeas, herbs, spices, nuts and seeds.
Talk to us about supplements. And yeah, I guess we're lucky, aren't we, that we've got brands like Cannabotech who are creating supplements that can go hand in hand. Gemma, talk to us about the power of supplements, and as someone who's, you know, a proper doctor, how effective you think they can be.
Yeah, I think that they can be effective, and we're all a little bit in love with supplements, I have to say. I went to an athletic seminar recently, and I heard the statistic that over 90% of elite athletes will take supplements, and most of the population will as well, for one reason or another. And I think supplements are really helpful for supplementing a healthy lifestyle. And in a way, we all supplement anyway without even realizing it. Our food is often fortified. In fact, it's in the UK, all the bread that we buy in the supermarket is pre-fortified with various B vitamins. Cow's milk is fortified with iodine. And there are many other examples. And so I think, yes, supplementation can be life-saving in some instances, but I tend to like people to really focus on their nutrition first and foremost. If we've got those building blocks right, that's fantastic. All those fruits and veggies, those whole grains, those legumes, those herbs and spices, nuts and seeds. If you're having a lovely broad range of those, you're not going to need too much more on top of that. And I think that's an important point to make. However, if you have a fully plant-based diet, I do need to stress that vitamin B12 supplementation is important. I think that there are some real advantages from using plants in other ways, like, for example, the CBD and medicinal mushroom mixture that Cannabotech uses, I think can enhance health as well. But it's about really finding something that suits you at the time in life where you're at.
Yeah, I completely agree, Gemma, if you allow me. I think that in general, supplements can be good, but they're not the default. I think, and Gemma would probably agree with me, that in the future we'll see the CBD and mushroom taking much more wider place in preventive medicine.
Can we just talk briefly about, Gemma, I'd love to hear your view on the combination of the two. There's a lot of CBD products on the market right now. I mean, Cannabotech is a preventative health brand. It's about, you know, making lifestyle changes and then, you know, supplementing, but also getting the sort of bones right of healthy living. But what's really unique about it as well is this combination of medicinal mushrooms and CBD. Gemma, what's your view on that? What's your view on CBD and mushrooms and why together they're effective?
Yeah, so the reason that I feel so proud of working with Cannabotech is because they have lots of research scientists who are developing their product. 10 years of research has gone into it. And of course, there are many decades of research prior to that show us some of the human health benefits of CBD and medicinal mushrooms. But the beauty of this is that in combination, you can actually get a more attenuated effect, which I think is really powerful. And they formulate each of the CBD and medicinal mushroom products based on what you're looking for, based on what you're needing at that time. So there's one for sleep, there's one for relaxation, there's one for immune support, and they'll contain different combinations of medicinal mushrooms based on what you require. They're MHRA registered, they're third-party tested. It's sometimes quite hard in the supplement industry, I think, to know exactly who to trust and to know exactly what you've got in your product. And that's something that I've been really conscious of. So yeah, that's another reason why I think it's a really lovely product.
Well, our wellness editor gets very excited about mushrooms. I'm not sure that everyone else is quite there yet, but I think we're going to hear about medicinal mushrooms more and more and more, aren't we?
Absolutely. And I have to say that, sorry, Yuval, I'll just finish off with this point. I think, you know, medicinal mushrooms can be incredibly powerful. And I have to say that with Cannabotech, the various supplements they take, they do have a rather strong taste. And I think that is probably to do with the medicinal mushroom component. I don't know if Professor Khaled would be able to tell me if that's the reason, but yes, they're very potent and they've got that strong taste to them. And I think, yeah, they're a pretty good thing.
Yeah, and actually what's important in using this mushroom as the combination is just to mention that most of the chronic diseases of the Western world And you know, we have longer lifespan, but the relative health span is getting shorter. But most of the chronic diseases that we all know, like diabetes, like brain diseases, like cardiovascular diseases, etc., are all associated with certain amount of inflammation. And the combination of CBD and mushrooms and other minerals that are added to these formulas are a significant anti-inflammatory effect, antioxidant effect, and this is a great way for prevention.
There are, you know, thousands of different supplements out there. Really, you need to understand specifically what your body is lacking in to know how best to supplement it. So you're doing some quite cool things around DNA and personalization, aren't you, Professor Khaled?
Yes, this I must say that the DNA, genetic profile approach is relatively new. Because we have more than 20,000 genes and we have all kind of connection between genes. But this approach, which is relatively new, it comes in order to be more personalized. All the things we're talking here, you need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. You need to reduce your stress level. Gemma gave us a nice lecture about, about proper eating, etc. This is probably good for everyone. Almost 100% of our genes are similar, but we have some different in our genes. And this science, in the future, actually right now, we can use it as a tool in order to match proper nutrition, proper exercise, proper probably mushroom CBD combination and behavior according to your DNA.
This is what's exciting about Cannabotech and what you're doing is this personalization piece, is it's not one size fits all, everyone's unique. Thank you both so much, that really was fascinating. It definitely makes me think, take control. Now knowledge is power. For more information, visit cannabotech.com.
From health to food, next up, content creator Sommer Pyne is back with the last in her series of autumnal recipes to ease us into the new season. Here she is with a delicious slow roast thyme and rosemary lamb with veggies and tahini dressing.
Hi, I'm Summer and I'm here with SheerLuxe and the Creuset. So today I'm going to cook one of my favourite all-time recipes. It's Mediterranean slow roast lamb with autumnal vegetables and tahini dressing. The beauty about this recipe is it's really easy. It cooks long and slow, but you can do all the prep up front. And then when you put it on the table, your friends think you've been slaving away in the kitchen all day, but it's just not true. Okay, so let's start with the marinade first. Now, I'm using anchovies. Trust me, they don't taste like anchovies. They just give it a really nice salty flavor with the garlic and the lemon and the herbs. It's like the most delicious, mouth-watering flavor. Trust me. Okay, so let's start with the anchovies. So I'm going to put about 5 anchovies into a food processor. And then I'm using half a bulb of garlic. So I'm going to put that in. And cumin. I really love cumin. It's a really warm spice, but it just has such good flavors. And then I'm going to put lemon and a lemon rind. Just squeeze that in there. And then we're just going to put some lemon rind in there as well. So I'm going to now add the herbs. I'm using thyme and rosemary, which I think really complement lamb. Don't worry too much, like you can put all the stalks in there. I'm just sort of breaking it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take the rosemary, and I just like to take the rosemary off the stick and just place it in like that. Season with a bit of salt, pepper, a little bit of olive oil. Right, and then you just blend it all together into a nice paste. Right, I think we're ready. The thing that's really important with this dish is to make sure that you have good quality lamb. So I went to my local butcher's and I got myself a lovely shoulder of lamb. I'm just gonna put the marinade on the lamb like this. I'm gonna use my hands in a minute because what you want to do is like rub it all in and make sure it's all covered. What I'm also gonna add to this is I'm gonna put a little bit of lemon juice in here as well. And I'll put a little bit of extra olive oil on top.
this. Don't be shy. And lots of salt and pepper. Now I'm just gonna marinate this lamb so it's covering the whole shoulder. I think people think lamb in springtime, but actually from August on, Welsh lamb is really good. It's like the best time to have it, I'm told. So what I'm gonna do in here, I'm just gonna add some more of the herbs. So I'm just gonna put the herbs underneath. So again, I just want maximum flavor. I always put the lemon in as well. I don't wanna waste anything. And I might do a little bit of lemon rind on top as well. These flavors work so well. So now we just need to cover in foil, like that. And make sure it's covered all the way around. I usually put 2 pieces on. The secret to a good slow roast lamb is to put it in the oven and leave it. I know it's tempting to look, but trust me, you put the foil on, you put it on 160 and you just let it cook. Okay, let's pop her in the oven. So we're gonna start with the veg, and as I said before, it's all about the preparation so you can have a stress-free day with your family or friends. I'm going to use some squash because that's very autumnal. So I'm actually going to leave the skin on my squash, and I'm just going to cut them in discs like this, and then put it into like a moon shape. And then I'm also going to add some sweet potato. You need to wash and peel your sweet potato. The way I cut my vegetables is really kind of rough. There's no method really, but you want everything to be similar sizes so it all cooks evenly. Right, you might want to put some onion in there as well. And I just cut this in quarters, take the skin off. There's nothing more delicious than caramelized onions. And then I put some carrots in. I'm gonna leave these carrots whole and I'm gonna slice them down the middle. I think when you do your vegetables, having lots of different shapes and colors always works really well. To this, I'm gonna add some garlic. Do you know what? I leave the skin on and I just give them a good whack before I put them in. Like that, so simple. And now I'm just gonna add some thyme, a little bit of rosemary, and I'm gonna put a bit of salt and pepper on for now. And then I'm just gonna let that sit in the fridge or on your countertop. So now you can go away and relax and come back to this later. Okay, so now we're gonna just start with the tahini dressing, and we're gonna use Greek yogurt, 2 big dollops of that. I'm gonna put a little bit of cumin in. And I'm gonna put 1 tablespoon of tahini, as you can see. A bit more than a tablespoon, but that'll do. Okay, so then I'm gonna add a lemon. So I'm just gonna chop that in half. Get the juices in there. And then we're just gonna whisk it. And then I'm gonna pop this in the fridge, ready to dress when our lamb and veggies are ready. So the lamb's been in for 4 hours now. I'm gonna take it out and check it. At this stage, you can take the foil off, whack up the oven to 190 or even higher, and you wanna put it back in so that it crisps up on the outside, but you still get that nice fall away meat. So let's check it. So nice, oh, look at that. And you're just gonna check it. Oh, and look at this, it's perfect. Like that, but now what we want to do is crisp all this up and brown the top. So we've got about an hour to go on the lamb, and now I'm going to prep the veg, which we cut up earlier. So I've got all my herbs. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. Well, when I say a little bit, big lump of olive oil. You want everything covered. And I'm going to add a little bit of cumin to this. Seasoning. And then you're just gonna mix it all up. And don't be shy, use your hands. Just mix it all up together so everything's covered, and then we're just gonna whack that in the oven. Okay, so the lamb is looking so good. It's really juicy and succulent, falling off the bone, but now we've got the nice crispy edges. So I'm just gonna leave this rest while I get the veg ready. Okay, so the veggies are ready, and now we just need to top it with my tahini dressing, and you literally just go like this with your sauce. So then I try and put the lemon so it's like on top of the sauce. And then we're going to finish off with the mint. All right, so the lamb has been resting, it's looking really good, and I'm gonna now put it onto a serving plate, and I just like to put it all onto the table and get people to help themselves. A side of potatoes or greens goes perfectly with this dish. I can literally feel the lamb falling away from the bone, which is perfect. Just add some herbs around the edges. You might wanna put some on top. Put a bit of olive oil over the top like that. Some salt. And all you're going to do is grab forks and you're just going to pull it like this. And look how amazing all that meat is. It just falls off the bone. And yeah, you just serve it like that. I usually leave the forks in there like that. And that is my Mediterranean slow roast lamb. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you so much, Summer. Next up, if you're in need of some fresh makeup inspo, Adeola Gboyega, SheerLuxe's beauty contributor, is here with her favourite trends from Fashion Month and how to recreate them.
Hey everyone, Adeola Gboyega here, beauty insider for SheerLuxe. Now in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the biggest beauty trends that were seen at Fashion Week. I love nothing more than going through and watching all the shows in detail and really picking up some of the key trends that are happening in beauty. So stay tuned, I'm going to be sharing those with you now. So the first trend that was all over Fashion Week was bold colour, specifically a neon. Now, a neon colour is not the most wearable thing, but you know me, I love a bold bit of colour, specifically on the lips. And so one of the things that you can do is wear a bit of colour on your lips and make it really stand out. This was seen very much at the Versace show, where they had really beautiful neon colour on the eyes, or even like a nice bold neon colour on the lips as well. I'm wearing this beautiful colour by Bite Beauty. It's called Hot Tomato and it's so gorgeous. Another thing you can do is obviously go in with a bright orange. That's also really beautiful and flattering on pretty much all skin tones as well. So really do wear it your way. Keep the rest of your makeup very natural and minimalistic and really let the lips do all the talking. The next beauty trend that dominated Fashion Week was all about terracotta and peachy tones. Specifically seen at the Kalina Strada show, the models had this really beautiful hue of peachy tones and colours on the cheeks and the eyes, and it was super flattering on all skin tones. I recreated this look with this gorgeous blush from Il Maquillage in the shade Toxic. It's a mineral blush, and actually mineral blushes are really lovely because they're very easy to blend into the skin and they give this really gorgeous hue that's not too impactful. Take a little bit of this and apply that on the cheeks. You can just see here this really lovely warmth of colour that just blends in beautifully. You can even take a little bit of this over the eyes as well. It's a really great way to easily update your makeup look, and actually that warm sort of terracotta peachy tone really flatters all skin tones and instantly packs up any complexion. Now the next trend, we all remember the 90s brown nude lip, which again is a really beautiful trend when you wear it the right way. I'm going to be using this lip set or this lip combination from Vive, which is a brand that I absolutely adore. It's all about a really lovely sort of chocolatey brown lip liner and then obviously a nice nude lipstick. But again, make sure that you're really blending so there's no harsh lines. So starting off with a really lovely brown lip liner, and it just gives a lovely frame to the lips, and then going in with a really lovely nude lipstick, and then I really blend that through. But I really love this, and actually this was seen at the Christian Cowan lip show. Blends in beautifully, and that gorgeous sort of nudie brown, which again is really nostalgic, takes you back to those days when we used to line our lips with a brown lip liner and then going in, but obviously you can wear it in a very modern and classic way as well. Really gorgeous. And then last but not least, I feel like I saved the best for last. One of my favorite trends that I saw at Fashion Week was the lived-in smoky eye, which is very timeless and actually very classic, but super easy to do. I created it with just these 3 products here, an eyeliner pencil, this really beautiful Super Nudes palette by Charlotte Tilbury, and a Hypnose mascara. Now this look was seen all over the shows at Dior and Chanel, so you know that it's a trend that is very classic if those 2 fashion houses are doing it on the models. The first thing that I did was I went in with this really beautiful pencil from Victoria Beckham, which I really love because it's super easy to use, and it's a smoky Kajal pencil. I ran that across my lash line at the top, and then also in my waterline at the top as well, and then also at the bottom of my lash line. And what I also love about this pencil is that you've got the smudge brush at the end, so once you've applied your liner, don't worry about it being perfect, you can then just smudge it in like so. I then took this dark colour in the Charlotte Tilbury Super Nudes palette, and I just kind of blended out my liner. So it's really important to kind of go in with a sort of dark colour, similar to the colour of the liner, to smoke out the smoky eye. But look at that, really gorgeous. I mean, it's like this mid-tone shade here, and actually you can use your fingers. I use my fingers a lot when I'm doing a smoky eye, because this will give you that element of a lived-in look. And again, it's very sort of smoky, it's not defined, there's no harsh lines or edges, it's very sultry, and kind of is like, you know, you've just woken up in the morning after a night out and you've got this really beautiful sort of smudged smoky eye. It's not perfect, and that's the beauty of it. And then once I've done that, I then go in with lots and lots of mascara. And one of my current favourite mascaras I'm absolutely loving is the Hypnose mascara. I just love the brush and how it deposits the right amount of product on the eyes. And again, just creates a really beautiful frame for the smoky eye. But look at that, really and simple and easy to do, and again very classic and very timeless as well, and super easy. All you need is 3 things: pencil, an eyeliner pencil of your choice, a really beautiful palette such as this one, super easy to use, and a mascara. Well, I hope that you guys have enjoyed me sharing my top picks from Fashion Week, my favourite beauty trends. I love sharing these with you guys. Let me know which one was your favourite, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.
So that's it for today. Thank you so much, Jules, Professor Halid, Dr. Gemma Newman, Sommer, Adeola, and of course the gorgeous Polly. On the next show, we have some more fab content with another wardrobe challenge, this time with me. Some more food inspiration from Bettina's Kitchen, affordable beauty picks, and a rather special Things We Love. You won't want to miss it. In the meantime, we would love it if you could comment below, give us a thumbs up, and do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Bye-bye.